Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2014 Fed's presidential election debate hosted by Imprint. I'm James Rimmer, one of your co-moderators. With me is Aaliyah, the editor-in-chief of Imprint, who will be also moderating. I'm going to start with the reading of the rules. Each candidate will get 120 seconds for an opening introduction. Questions will follow, with each candidate getting 30 seconds for a response. If a candidate has time remaining after answering the question, it may be used however he or she wishes. The number of questions will be based on time. After the question period, each candidate will get 120 seconds for a conclusion. During the course of the debate, each candidate will get one opportunity for a 20-second rebuttal indicated by raising his or her hand and getting the approval for one of the moderators. Our timekeeper will flash the yellow card with 15 seconds remaining and will raise and hold the pink card for the last 10 seconds of your time. When the pink card is lowered, you must stop talking. According to the draw, we will start with Danielle Burt.
Good? Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Imprint debate. My name is Danielle Burt, and I am a presidential candidate for Team Spark. I would like to formally introduce myself as a candidate in the beginning of the campaigning period and to start on my vision. So I firmly believe that students often look to or need that leader role to be able to step behind them and support them. And whether it be in an organization, just in your network, whatever it is, people want that leader to look to, and I really want that to be me. I want that leadership position to be filled by someone who is open to collaboration within the organization and embracing leadership within that. And I really think that using this principle, we can improve the visibility of this organization and really increase campus life, student wellness across campus, and we really have this joint venture to better the student experience and to really put forth this organization and the face of it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jesse McGinnis, and I'm the presidential candidate for Team Nova. Our team is focused on 3 C's: collaboration, communication, and community. In my time at this university, I've spent 2 years in the leadership of orientation as FALC and as FALC mentor. I've spent 3 years on Students' Council, recently helping new counselors get across the initiatives they want to, like Mental Health Committee or the First Year Advocacy Council. I've sat on the Feds board, the University Board, Senate, and a plethora of university committees. And I've been really passionate about student space, initially with former President Andrew Noble, and recently, and this past year, negotiating improvements across campus to improve space, like M3 or in DC. But why am I here today? The importance of our Waterloo community cannot be understated. Together, we can accomplish the world. And this is why space, student space, is so important. If we can't be together, study together, socialize together, how can we form a community together? And this is why I want to renovate the SLC, improve the lighting, get better seating, make it an enjoyable atmosphere. This is why I want you to vote on new space next February, whether that's a new building, renovating a RIM building, or something more creative on campus. I also want to bring the community into Feds. I want to make more student opportunities in the organization so that you can learn and grow, and so that Feds can learn and grow. So vote Jesse McGinnis for president, and vote Team Nova. Thank you.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Mo Badir, and I'm running for president for Team Green. Now, before I start my introduction, I would like to inform everyone that our candidate for VP Internal, Salim Khan, had to leave due to a family emergency. Unfortunately, we want to wish him the best in the situation he's handling, and we would like to proceed with the debate without him. So once again, we're here this year to contest in the Fed's election. However, the issue still remains that only a handful of students have sufficient knowledge about Feds and their operations. Last year, I ran to change this because I believed I could make a change. This year, I don't think I can make a change. I know we will make a change. In the past 1 year, by becoming an active member within various clubs and organizations and feds as well, I had ample time to come up with a strategy to increase student engagement. I come this year with a well-experienced team that have an honest desire to bring students back in the Federation of Students. Federation, yeah. Armed with their unique experiences and my own, we have come up with a simple yet realistic platform to engage students under our leadership. A new era of student democracy awaits us. As I stress once again, as I stressed before, we need to cut across social boundaries set by race, gender, program, and faculty, and unite under the banner of the University of Waterloo. Vote for us, vote for Team Green.
And now for the first question, Jesse McGinnis will be answering first. What do you want to accomplish in your first school term in office?
We're sticking with the 30 seconds. So within my first term, there are a number of things I want to see accomplished. We want to have a budget for the exec out within the first month of being in office so that you guys can be... Okay, sorry. So within the first term, I want to have a budget out within the first month so that we can immediately get you guys critiquing and giving us feedback on the direction we should be heading in. I want to get the ground running on the SLC renovations so that you can start enjoying this space much better. Sure.
Sorry, could you repeat the question again?
What do you want to accomplish in your first school term in office?
Okay, so first and foremost, I want to start working with societies more because I believe the best interest of each faculty is held by societies. And then I want to work towards, I want to start working towards student space and engaging first years.
Okay, so in my first term of being in office, it would be spring term. So I'd really like to focus on focusing on that overhead of orientation because those 4 months right before would be a great time to focus on that pushing that it's a Fed's identity, that when you enter into orientation, you are a Fed's member, and when you exit orientation, you are also a new Fed's member. So I want to really build that community, and that involves societies, clubs, everybody involved. Thank you.
All right, the next question. After making all your campaign promises, how do you plan on being accountable to students?
So, I mean, Feds owes a lot to students, right? And we need to do our best to ensure that students get what they want and their opinions are heard. So I believe that we have to find a better way to engage them and a better way to get their ideas out and actually run by Feds.
So I think the whole thing with accountability is just knowing what you're promising students and being able to rationalize, is this possible? Is this feasible to get this on campus? And I think the whole planning process of these promises really has to come across as I've done my research, I know that this is possible, and I plan to put it to work. Thank you.
You need to make realistic promises to deliver, but how we're going to make sure that you can keep us accountable is 3 basic things. We're going to communicate with you regularly where you're at already, so that's Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, having that two-way discussion so you know what we're doing. We're going to do bi-termly updates on our progress, on our election promises, so that you can see our progress, see when we're falling off the tracks and where we're failing. And we're going to, as I said earlier, release an open budget so you can critique what we're doing. Oh, sorry. Okay. I was like, it's red.
All right, question number 3. What is your stance on the upcoming UPass referendum? First, Ms. Burke.
So the UPass referendum obviously is to sort of get that response from students to see if they are okay with, one, the fee in general, and two, if they are following from last year the fee increase. So I think I'm in support of the program in general, but the referendum is to see the students' opinion on this whole fee and price. And I think that students do realize that it is a big benefit to them on campus and to the community. Thank you.
So ultimately, it's up to the students to decide what they feel about the referendum and the bus pass itself. But we realize the benefit and know students will continue to use the bus regardless of if the referendum passes or fails. So we have plans and ideas in place to improve the bus pass program, whether that's because there's money set aside in Fed's budget that can only be spent on bus pass. So getting heated seats, getting digital displays in the DC so you know when the bus is coming without having to leave the convenience of the room.
All right, so as the other candidates said, we definitely do have to consult students before anything. But me personally, I am with passing the referendum. Although I personally don't use the bus, but a lot of students benefit from the bus. And after consulting with and talking with a lot of students, a lot of them feel like, no, we should still have this. It's a $5 increase, and GRT states that it's going to have better customer service, valuable and more valuable benefits out of this increase. So I guess there could be a benefit out of it.
To follow up, while that's lovely statements on the nature of student democracy, how will you personally be voting in the referendum?
I'll be voting in favor of keeping the bus pass.
I will also be voting in favor to keep the bus pass.
Definitely voting to keep the bus pass.
You each have varying Feds experience. How do you think those experiences will benefit you or hinder you in your job as president of Feds?
I think the extensive and broad experience I've had has given me really important connections with various administrators that are crucial to what my job entails as president of the organization. I think it's also given me a very good understanding of what's capable and what's possible within the position and what can realistically be done. And I think it gives me an idea of what kind of are going to come up in our push to make progress.
So being as part of Feds, like I engage Feds not as a council, but I engage in various committees such as President Advisory Committee. I've also been heavily involved in clubs. That's where I invested my time. And I feel like that brought me closer to the student body, and that's what Feds needs to have. So I guess I feel like I'm pretty strongly connected with the student body, and I know how to express them. So I believe that makes me a perfect candidate for PES.
So I believe my participation in any of the commitments I have participated in on campus is personally about making those connections with people, and in everything I do try and put that effort forward to make those connections in any position I do. So when I worked for Feds in an employer position, also made those connections in my networks. Also when I teach a class, I also make those connections with my students. So I really want to put forward this ability to make connections across my networks.
Next question, starting with Mo. What are your plans for addressing student space issues on campus?
Is there anything in specific you want to talk about, or just student? Okay, so basically we need to consult students. That's the most important thing. We need to make sure that students' voices are heard, their opinions are voted on, collaborated with. We also need to promote students actually engaging in Feds rather than creating things that are irrelevant to them and that distance or creates more gap between Feds and students. So basically, yeah, consulting them is the most important thing, and basically finding a new way of engaging them, because definitely the ways right now are not working.
Okay. So obviously students have expressed their concerns with student space, and that is something that is very much a theme across campus, and I know Jesse has done a lot of extensive research with students and really heard their opinions. So I think it's really now about finding those gaps in where we can put students and use space more effectively. So whether that's moving space in the library from books and putting them into storage and having that as open student space, or actually checking out new buildings that are coming on campuses or renovations that are going on. Thank you.
There are three main things that I want to do around space. So first, I want to continue the work I'm already doing in improving space across campus on Waterloo's Space Committee. So improving spaces like DC, M3 area. There's other ones that have been looked into. I want to renovate the SLC to make this building, our student building, into a space that students can truly enjoy. And as I said earlier, I want you to vote on a new space proposal, whether that's a new building, whether that's renovating a RIM building, or whether that's moving stacks out of DC. Whatever it is that we're able to get you, we want you to make a decision on something that will give you more space.
Was that a question about space or about engaging students? Okay.
I've noticed in a lot of your campaign literature, you guys list a lot of priorities. Name your top three.
So one of my top priorities, and one that kind of resonates with me close to home based on my past experience, is Orientation Week. And so I think sort of continuing that as a brand of Feds and having that presence throughout campus, throughout the term and the year. Secondly, I also have a big advocate for mental health awareness on campus and really fighting that stigma on campus and making students more aware of the services, availability, accessibility of what they have. Thank you.
So most of mine fall under the idea of building up our community. So the top three things that I will focus on is space, as I'm sure you've gotten that from already. I want to create more opportunities in Feds, more opportunities for you to get engaged, for Feds to get engaged with you, for both sides to learn from each other and grow. And I want to make I want to keep working with O Week, and I want to make it so that students continue to drive the direction that orientation goes in.
Okay, so my three top priorities are, well, first and foremost, I want more informal consultation sessions, so kind of like informal general meetings, so that students can actually understand what's going on in general meetings. That's probably my top priority. Then my second priority is getting more involvement of students in Feds, and that follows up my informal consultation sessions. And third and lastly, I want to re-engage first years because I mean we're starting to lack that.
All right, the next question. As you guys know, you will not be elected as teams. You're all each elected as individuals. So if voters choose to split their ballots between teams, how do you foresee working with candidates from other teams?
Is it me first? Yeah? Okay. I mean, I've worked in a number of teams over the years, and it's just a matter of finding the common ground and finding what you all agree on. I think all of us want to improve Feds, so I don't believe it will be impossible for us to find areas that we can agree on, that we can agree will benefit our undergraduate students, will benefit you, and that we can move forward with delivering results to you. Like, it's just, we'll work together because we need to make it better for you.
Okay, so I'm 100% sure that all candidates running for this election do have the students' best interest in mind. So I don't see why it would be difficult working with any other team as long as we keep in mind that we're working for the students, not just for ourselves.
So I do pride myself on my ability to be diplomatic with different groups and with different personality traits. And I think that there is some sort of benefit to discussion and to different opinions because we are able to keep each other accountable. So I think that is not dependent on the team you come from, but rather that we're all working towards the same goal of improving this campus and its Fed's influence on it. Thank you.
Final question. What is your stance on the Fed's fee? Too high, too low, just right?
Who's first? Me? Or
Okay, so depending on who you ask, they could give you all the answers, but really, I think it's just right because we do get a lot of services out of it. But I think what the problem is that although we're getting a lot of services out of our fee, we're not advertising that properly, and that's where the issue is. It's not about. I think the fee is just right, but we just need to advertise what people are getting out of it, what students are getting out of it.
I think a common theme that we've all kind of mentioned here is that we want to know what our fee is actually going towards, whether it's we see the breakdown of financials for those who are interested in that kind of topics, or if we just see those presence on campus of where our money is actually going. But in my opinion, I think that there is justification for why the fee is the way it is within feds, and I think that it is in the best interest of students, so I would hope that they aren't putting it out of proportion, but in my opinion, it is a good price right now. Thank you.
I think when it comes to the fee, the question you always have to answer is, am I getting a good return on my investment? Am I seeing value for what I'm paying or not? And I think what a lot of students right now, they're not seeing the value that they expect from the fee they're paying. Does that mean that the fee is too high? No, it means we're not communicating, we're not sharing, or maybe we're not doing the right things. But if we focus on that return of value, hopefully we'll see students agree that the fee is a good place, but if they say we're not getting the value we expect, then we need to lower it. Hopefully they see the value though.
I would now like to ask Danielle to start concluding statements.
Okay, so I'm not going to introduce myself again, but I would like to thank you everyone for coming out to this debate. It really gives us sort of a chance to say what we want to say to you as students and present ourselves as leaders. And I think we all are trying to improve feds and to make it better for the students that we are, as students up here and as students around us, we are trying to push towards this common goal and this vision. And I think that I would definitely like to be the leader in this change and this vision for the next year. And I think in my platform and in my team's platform, we have definitely dedicated our time and our ideas to actually putting in plans that are able to execute within the year. We aren't trying to create these crazy dreams and work towards them. We're doing these small things that will benefit students throughout the year. And so I think with my involvement in the past, with Orientation Week, with teaching, I teach a class through athletics, that I really want to bring this sort of leadership vision for everyone. And I'm really passionate about what I am saying up here and in the future. And if anybody has interacted with me on campus, you will know this. And I really want to push forward our 3 underlying messages. One being we want to improve the visibility and increase the awareness on campus of feds. We want to improve campus life, and we want to better the student wellness that is on campus. Thank you very much for all your time.
Thank you, moderators, for running a great debate. Thank you, everyone, for coming out today. It's really appreciated. Just again, I'm Jesse. I want to be your next president, and I'm on Team Nova. We're really focused on bringing better communication, communicating with you, having that two-way dialogue. We want to collaborate with you, the students, us. We want to have that relationship where both sides can work together and can benefit mutually. And we really want to grow the Waterloo community. It's a place that we all call home at one point or another. Hopefully you still enjoy coming here. It's a place that we are a part of something bigger. It's a place that we can really bring change to the area around us and to the university itself. My team and myself brings the experience necessary to create positive change. The things that we're talking about in our platform are all very actionable, are very realistic. They're things that we've heard from you when we've talked with other students. They're frustrations we've felt ourselves as students. They're things that we care about and we're really passionate about fixing and improving on this campus. I really hope you'll give us an opportunity to show you what feds could be like.
All right, so I really want to keep it short and simple, sweet. I want to thank you all for coming out, for getting involved in this. This will actually decide what happens in the next year, so it's very important that every single student cares about this and knows about this, so I want to encourage you to spread the message. I personally really want to do this. I do have the best interest of student and the student body in mind always. I know all candidates probably think the same too, or hopefully they do. But yeah, I just want to keep it short and simple. Thanks a lot for coming out. I encourage you guys to approach me and my team to ask us questions if you have any, to see if we could improve anything that we talked about. And we're just trying to be realistic, simple, and everything we're setting is doable. So thank you all, and that's it.
I would like to thank all the candidates for their time, the audience for showing up, ask them all to shake hands, and I would now like to call the candidates for VP Internal to please come to the media table.